Alright, so this is pretty much my first game. I'm just gonna just play and have fun, really. But
This is your
I actually wanted to talk about something that I think is gonna probably increase your understanding of like how important teamwork is.
Don't worry, I'll take care of you.
Just on a basic fundamental level as usual, right? But so the way I present to you these ideas is I try to present them in very simple, basic like methods of thinking and ways for you to remember. So it's actually a little trick I use for myself, because you think about whatever the topic is and you simplify it, right? You break it down, simplify it. So one thing I'm going to think about is damage over healing. And the reason why I'm thinking about that is because time and time again I'm going to be in situations where I take damage and I feel like I should heal or I want to heal, right?
That's what happens when you get too excited.
I hope my friend comes to help me.
Reloading. Target down. That was the end of that squad.
Lucky me. So what was I saying?
Got you.
So damage over healing. The reason why I'm thinking this is because when I get to a fight and I take damage, I don't want to then do the obvious thing and go and heal when maybe me shooting the enemy still is going to be a big help, right? And basically the way I can trick myself into playing that way is to think, whenever I heal, should I be doing damage, right? So if an enemy came now, I could want to heal, especially if I have a med pack, but maybe I want to help out instead. You know, if this guy had a med kit and one guy came here, I don't want him to heal. I want him to help me shoot, right? And everybody wants this. But the reason why everybody doesn't do it is because that urge to heal, to keep safe and heal up, seems very, like, reasonable, you know? And it is.
I need help.
That's the thing. And it's so reasonable that when people start to break away from it,
I need help.
it starts to look like that person is playing very high level, you know, or he's aggressive, you know? A lot of people say, like, I like to play aggressive. And aggressive works, you know, like, basically, why does aggressiveness work, right? Like, why does it work? And it isn't just because, you know, oh, these guys are so good at aiming. They can just blow through people. No. It works because they end up putting out a certain type of pressure that is not common, right? In a sense, we know if a guy just dives into like a team of 3 people, he's going down most likely, and it will be like, why didn't you guys help me, right? But when a guy pushes and he gets cracked and he's like, you know, half his health, and then his teammates come, but then he comes back into the fight, it looks like, oh my god, this guy's so aggressive, you know, or he's so good, look at that. But it's more about actually whether he's doing it on purpose or not, he's actually doing what he needs to do, you know. And it just comes down to, is this guy able to avoid the damage that comes this way that will down him, right? And then we come back to the simple avoiding unnecessary damage. If you can avoid it, you should, you know, even while you fight. And so I am repeating the same thing I've written in the thread, right? But it's like different ways of showing it. And when you combine 2 of like the topics, you get a whole another thing you can simplify. You can combine 2 things, simplify it, and call it something else, you know? So I basically
sound of that?
taking no, what did I call it? Avoiding unnecessary damage and damage over healing. When you combine that, that's when you get the envisioning, right? You're gonna envision what it. Did I just steal someone something? I'm not thinking what I'm doing.
Shops open for business.
You get kind of envisioning, right? Envisioning being with your team or what it looks like when you make team
Remember
plays.
who hooked you up. I've got your
And
back.
so whatever works for you, whatever type of thinking works for
Don't
you, you just
mind
do
if
that.
I do.
But really, the cool thing about this, guys, is you're watching me kind of throw out ideas that I'm interested in and thinking about and still even unsure about. You're watching me improve as a player. Like when I started making that thread, obviously, you know, I wasn't I've been on and off on Apex for a while now, right? How can I say this? I don't know how far I can go in ranked. I've tried hard and I've got to Diamond before on one like the early seasons. But right now, I don't really play for rank, I just play to learn. And I started the thread immediately. As soon as I started to learn, I pretty much started that. God, I'm so bad. But, my aim. It's like really shaky. Like right now, me wanting to know what my teammates are doing, that's a new habit I built up. Because I could. What's going on? So now I gotta try and get up there and get in the fight. That sucks.
Reloading. Come on, I still need you.
Gotta save my guy.
Taking fire.
Right?
Reload. Enemy down.
So right there you did see me change my timing of my peeking, right? Remember the mindful peeking thing?
Took care of that one.
So I assumed that guy was gonna shoot again, or probably be looking for it. So I hid for 2 seconds. It's not that I'm like an amazing player. It's just stuff that kind of makes sense, and I'm now conscious of it. You know? So now my friend is going in, and I'm going in with him. This stuff makes sense. Oh god.
Reloading.
You know?
Whole squad down. Now let's see what
So-
they left us.
What I believe is that everyone, I mean, people that are stuck in, you know, silver, gold, platinum, it's not that they're bad at the game, or it's not that they can't get better. Of course they can't. Like, I mean, of course they can get better, right? But people can, when I say stuck, I mean they can be there for a long time. Seasons after seasons, they're there. And it's just because they don't know how to make sense of what's going on, right? But once you know, your skill actually doesn't change. It's just your knowledge that changes, and you're already a better player. You do need to practice and stuff, but it's more just about having an idea, right? Having an idea, and that's what I'm presenting to you guys. Because I want you to
Beautiful. We have a
come up with your
replicator.
own ideas. I want you to test the stuff I say. Don't take it as like, this is law, this is true. It's like, how can I use this? Let me test it. How can I use it? Because that's what I believe is going to make you unique, right? So you take the basic idea of avoiding unnecessary damage, and then you say, okay, this works, but it didn't work here. So next time when I'm in that similar situation, I know I can't do it there, right? But it works here, so in this situation, I'm going to keep doing it until you get another idea, you know? And at least this stuff that I'm talking about, or writing in the thread, it's going to be very applicable from the moment you start playing, and it will help you to climb. You will need to come up with your own ideas and other things and get better at other skill sets. as you climb, because the game will get harder. But it's a great place to start, and that's what I think and believe. It's kind of a great place to start. But again, I am just like you. Like, I wish you guys knew the struggle. My games are going quite successful nowadays. My aim is getting better and everything, right? Which is cool. But I think it's just me paying attention to what the hell I'm doing, right? And what's going on. Let's say I died here, right? In this exchange. Yeah, my aim, it could be like, oh, well, if you hit all your shots, you would have won that fight. Yeah, of course, right? I would be like an aimbot. But there's other factors. So what could I have done? What is the reason why I went down? Or what could I have done when I was alive, right? And you see that. You get ideas. As soon as you watch your own clip, you get ideas. And I will be helping some of you guys do this as well. I have already told a few people to send me, like, I would say the last 3 minutes of when you were knocked, right? Because it's not about the games you do good in. It's more about, like, why did you get knocked, you know? And it's not if it's your fault or not. It's what could you have done, right? Because it's easy to go, I got knocked because my teammates suck, or I got knocked because they rushed, or, you know, stuff like that. I got knocked here. It's more like, what could you have done better in that situation, right? And can you realize when you're in that same situation on a totally different day, a different game, in a different area in the map? The situations are the same. For example, these guys I'm shooting here, if they knocked me, I would be like, why did I get knocked here? There was no reason for me to get knocked by them here, right? Because unless they have like a Kraber and they headshot me, okay, it'll be like, okay, that might have been unavoidable, because, you know, I want to shoot people. I don't be scared that everybody has the Kraber, right? But if they shot the Kraber and it missed, and then I kept on challenging, then they hit the second one, I'll be like, next time someone misses with the Kraber, I'm gonna be extra careful, right? Because they could hit that next one, and I know it could be coming. But all the other weapons you can take. For me to get down from across the map would mean I would have to be soaking in a lot of shots, right? Being quite aggressive from long range and really risking it all for what? Some damage, you know? And that's, you know, that goes into the 4 major phases I talk about, you know? Right now, we was just imposing a threat on those guys. We wasn't in a battle with them. Can you realize that in a game when you're playing yourself? Because sometimes there's a team right here in front of us, and we could still not be in a battle with them. They're this close, right? And I know, hey, they're not even focused on us. I get to shoot from here for free, and I'm not in a battle with them, and I can play accordingly, versus me go down there, and then now they're all looking at me. Even though I cracked them in the week, they all look at me and they down me, right? And I'm like, why did I enter a battle with those guys? You know? And it sounds very obvious. It sounds like a lot of common sense, but it's not. And you'll see this in your teammates and your own play, especially if you're stuck. Something is going very fundamentally wrong, you know. And again, I just want to say, this stuff is ideas. It's not law. It doesn't mean I'm right. You can choose to play a completely different way. But I will say, whatever way you choose to play, make it make sense. Like, don't just say, oh, I want to be the guy that goes out there and I just, like, kill everyone. You know? Or I want to be the guy that, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, whatever you have in your head, it has to make sense. And then just build on it. Make it even better. You know, I guess because we're not fighting, I'll just talk about, like, my mentality in improving in this game. And like right now, I could say if I focus on this guy here, right? Look how I would be tunnel visioning on whatever he's shooting at, when really maybe I could just be like still alert, because you know, he's doing his thing, but I gotta protect him, right? And if someone comes up there, we don't hear them, but they see us and they hear us shooting. So that increases our chances of survival, because as soon as someone comes, I'll be pinging there like crazy, you know? But a lot of times you see your whole team focusing on someone that's sniping over there, and you start shooting them, and it's just, it gets you killed, right? Alright, so, what did I want to say?
We're already in the next ring. Good.
My mentality in improving, right? So there are some things that you do not need to learn. I'm gonna shut that door because it's just freaking me out.
Got him.
So the mentality I have when learning is obviously to improve my gameplay. But what I have to sacrifice is winning, getting kills, doing high damage, you know, having a nice KD. That stuff prevents me from learning, right? Because if I want to survive to the end game, I'll be doing what these guys are doing right now, right? Just playing safe, waiting. And you already know how to do that. You don't need to learn that, right? So when I go into games, I do try to throw myself into fights, but I try to say, how do I win this fight from the start? You know, what am I doing from the very beginning to win this fight? And that's when I start testing things, right?
Now to clean up the rest.
I start paying attention to things. I start testing things. So I would advise you, if you want to get better at this game, don't think getting better is getting a higher rank, right?
Heads up, got one here.
If you're in bronze, silver, and gold, you have an amazing opportunity to get some of the basics down, right? Because it's very easy for you to just do the smart thing, avoid fights, run away from your team when they do something stupid, and get into the top 3 and get points, and you can do that all the way to platinum. But you've just learnt how to play the RP game. You haven't learnt to improve as a player. You haven't learnt how to handle all the different types of situations you'll be in and come out on top, right? And just getting better aim and, you know, rushing people, yeah, that's a viable tactic when you're really good, and you and your team are going to be hitting all your shots and you can overwhelm. But you can also still screw up, because if you take some damage from them and another team comes, you can't just push them with no health, right? So you still need to learn, what do I do once I have no health? How do I play? Like, how do I get out of this situation? And that's what you can learn in the early stages, right? They might not have insane aim and stuff like that, but you can learn and test a lot of theory that will still be applicable when you get to the higher ranks. And to be honest, I don't know if the higher ranks even care too much for what I'm talking about, right? Because they're like, I've got great aim, I've got decent game sense, and I just want to survive to the end of the match and get my points, right? Like, that's all I want. Whereas they will be wondering, why aren't I as good as the pros, or why are some people having more success than I am? You know, because they're up against each other. So it's like, you want to be better at the people at your level, well then you've got to think better than them. It's not just about like getting sick movement and aim. Obviously that would take you very far if you had like absolute insane aim, right? Automatically takes you far, but you can be a lot better than that, right? So it's like, these guys, just in case a team comes behind us, I don't want to take too much damage from them. So it's just 3 teams. I haven't been looking at the information.
Ring is basically knocking on the door.
But see, my teammate slid down here, so I'm with him. Right? Oh, I suck.
Give him my shield to recharge.
I wonder if I can. Oh my god, level 1's gonna be killed. God damn. I'm scared of this guy up here. I feel like they might try and come behind Oh, we have to take some space out there. So it's better to go with my team at the exact same time. I just took one assist. There we go. So now I would want to heal like my team. I probably could have got it up. Are you kidding me? Oh, but I didn't want to, because if this guy pushed here, right? I wanted to help us. I didn't expect to win that game, guys. I was expecting to show you
You are the
a
Apex
death
champions.
and me analyze it. But at least I got a lot of things out of my head, you know. Jeez, that guy was hitting shots with that snipe. Alright, that's it.